Jonathan Majors made this whole video way worse.
Why you say that,
Because
man?
he was so awkward and clearly jealous and didn't like that. And then she looked at him after Michael put her down, and he looked at her, and it was like an unspoken thing that you could see where he was like, what the fuck?
You know, when you have a hot girlfriend, it can get hot in the kitchen when you bring her outside. You know, we talked about Jonathan Majors. We talked about Jonathan Majors all last year, and you know, he started dating Meghan Good. She held him down when he was at his lowest, and we thought she was just a paid actor to be standing by him by the trial, but that ended months ago. He lost all his deals, and they're still together.
Yeah,
they're still together, man.
They are still together, and she went on a podcast to talk with Shannon Sharpe about their relationship.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she did. Well, not just about the relationship, you know, her career and things like that, or lack thereof, whatever. But
shade.
but they talked for quite a bit, and she said, you know, she loves her man. She finds him very attractive. All this great stuff that she had to say about him, and then literally 2 days later, we see this
Essence Fest video, right?
Yeah, we see this video. And let's just take a look at what happened before we talk about it. Whoa, it's a big hug. Michael Ealy, man. Legend.
Legend.
Oh, boy. Now, there was a lot of talk about this clip. When you saw it, what was your first thought?
I laughed. I thought that shit was so funny, man. Oh, my God. The way his glasses were off his face and he just looks at him.
Exactly. I think, honestly, when I saw this clip, my first thought was, all right, he went overboard with that hug. But then I looked at her man. And Jonathan Majors made this whole video way worse.
Why you say that,
Because
man?
he was so awkward and clearly jealous and didn't like that. And then she looked at him after Michael put her down, and he looked at her, and it was like an unspoken thing that you could see where he was like, what the fuck? And she was just like, let's get ready for this picture. And then when they got ready for the picture, there was space between the two of them. Like, I analyzed this video
a lot
because I wanted to see what was happening. And I think Michael is... you can tell who Michael Ealy is. Like, we all know. He's been in the game for 25 years. But her letting him do that, and then Jonathan Majors' reaction made this the viral moment that it was.
You analyze this like the JFK shooting, man. You got it all mapped out,
man. Dude, it was bad. Troy, what did you think about this?
It was triggering because I've been on both sides, and I was like, oh my God, just like in my head, I'm like, okay, is that like insecurity where you're just like, no, she did not just do this in front of me, but at the same time, you're like, it could just be totally innocent. So I felt like a rush of emotions, and you know, he definitely, I feel like he was very awkward, very uncomfortable, and I was like, oh my God, it was just hard to watch, you know, see him like try to just play it cool and stuff, and it was just it was triggering for me.
Yeah, when it happened to you, like, how did you handle it, man? Did you look at him like Jonathan Majors did, or how did you play it off?
I think I was just like, you know, looking at my phone, act like I didn't see it. You know, first I saw it and I was like, all right, mental note, act on my phone. But internally, I was just like, oh my God, this is like.
Was it like a hug? Like, what was it like?
It was like a hug and certain things that I felt were maybe like crossing a few lines, but they were never like discussed before either. And it was also a similar situation, like, you know, this person knew their friend a lot longer than we were dating. So at the same time, I was like, okay, this is your friend. Like, you know, a lot of it was my insecurity, but still, like, I was like, I don't like this. And then after that, you know, had a little talk about it, and everything was good after that.
Yeah. What about you?
Mature of you.
What about you, man? Have you ever dealt with something like this?
Not like that. That was because I think Michael, he crossed a little bit of a line there.
Why you say he crossed the line? Because we see Meghan Good squeal out of excitement and jump into his arms.
Trust me, I'm gonna get to her. But he crossed the line because you don't pick up another man's girl like that.
What if she jumps in your arms and you've been friends for a long time?
She didn't jump though. He picked her up. You saw me break it down. I looked. I wanted to see if she bent her knees to like jump, and that's not what happened.
Okay, so first off, they recently dated. Her and Michael Ealy have been friends for a long time.
They have been.
I'm sure you hug your long-term friends a certain type of way when you haven't seen them in a while. Are you cognizant if their man's around, if you don't know him, if it's something recent, will that change the way you hug someone?
I'm not hugging another woman in front of my girl like that.
I'm not saying in front of your girl.
I'm trying to compare this situation.
No. I'm talking about your Michael Ealy.
Oh, would I hug? I don't think if her man was like right there, I'm not picking her up like that.
Are you sure? I don't know, man. I don't know if you'd be aware. You know what I mean? Like,
I would like to think that I would be aware not to do that, because I feel like that's like, even though, again, internet did their research.
Okay.
He dapped up and hugged Jonathan Majors first. The energy, it was a huge shift in energy. Everyone could see that. And then Meghan want to comment and talk about how, they had a talk and a hug before that, and the internet is doing their thing, whatever.
So funny.
Shut the fuck up, Meghan. She shouldn't have squealed like that. And then when she looked at him, she knew that she fucked up. So
she was in the moment. I feel like she was genuinely excited.
Listen, Nat, if you watching, I don't think you are, but I'm gonna talk to you and remind you again. Don't ever do no shit like that. Honestly, the only people that should be doing that to your girl in front of you is probably like her dad or her brother. I think anything past that, it's like, what are we doing right now?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about when we first met Nat, and she saw some friends and kind of left the group early on, and a lot of us were like questioning.
Yeah,
and what's up?
Exactly. Like, there's a way that you should comport yourself when you're around your man, when you're around his friends, and really even when you're not around him. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I mean,
and especially with these two, that man put hands on his previous chick. You really want to test these waters? Like, what are you doing, Meghan?
That's the first thing I thought of when I saw him look at her. I was like, oh no.
Not again.
I don't want to see that video of them running after each other in the streets.
No.
But I don't know. I've never really been in this position like that. I can't think of it. I could have like given people a hug and not realize like their boyfriend is around, but I'm not aware enough to like think of something that I can compare to this. But it was so funny. Like, I fucking loved this video. I watched it way too many times. And I think
let him pick you up. And then
what is she supposed to do? Like, stiff arm him? Like, they embraced each other. Like,
no, at that point it was too late. But
he spun her around.
Yeah, he spun her around. All right.
Oh shit, that was hilarious. Yo, let us know, guys. Is that
and
a
then
boundary?
you got Jonathan Majors looking like a fucking fool in his Lovecraft County outfit with that fucking hat and vest, like, and jeans. If this don't, he gotta step up.
Let us know, guys. Like, would this be a boundary for you if you were Jonathan Majors? Would you be upset if your significant other squealed and got spun around and hugged in front of everybody on camera? Because when the camera's there, it's like shit. People are watching. People are like aware of your past situation. Your public persona is not in the best shape if you're Jonathan Majors. If you react a certain way, it might look really, really bad. Especially since Meghan Good is kind of the person that is really helping save his career in a way, at least his public image. Like, every time we've seen him since, like, she's been around. Like, so, I think he reacted in a way that, as great of an actor he is, we saw him actually be real.
He awkward as hell, yo. He's fumbling with them glasses, fumbling with his merce and shit.
It's bad when you start going through the purse, man. What the fuck?
And then looking at her like,
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
That's so
was
funny,
just-
yo.
It was not good.
Yeah, if I picked up your girl, I'm sorry. Like, I don't remember. I'm not saying that hasn't happened, but to be on the other side of it, I don't think that's really happened to me. Not that I can't remember. I mean, I've dealt with things, but not that. Not that I can think of. But
Even if they had like, even if she had squealed like that and then they did a church hug, it would have been way better than the fact that he picked her up.
I mean,
The second your feet leave the ground, that means that man swept you off the ground. That's not what anybody ever wants to see their girl happen to her.
yeah, this reminds me of I Think You Should Leave, when he was like, "Oh, that guy flipped my wife over and over." Do you watch that show?
I do. I'm trying to remember that episode though.
It was when he was selling the what was it? Was it the hot dog? He was selling something. It was an infomercial, and then he was just like, "Yeah, I was upset because it was when it was the doggy door. It was the doggy door one, and he was saying, he was upset because someone flipped his wife over at a wedding like 8 times, and
Flipped her over? How?
Like dancing, like you gotta see it. But
Oh, I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
Oh, nah. Nah.
boundaries, people. Jonah Hill has boundaries. Everybody else should. But that shit was so funny, man. Some things are just out of your control. When you first start dating people, things happen. It's been maybe a year for them. I don't know. But yeah, that shit was hilarious, man.
Jonah Hill was like, don't have friends. Don't have friends that have friends. Don't go outside. Don't go to a bar. Don't talk to a man.
Yeah, he had some crazy rules, man. We hit the streets with that last year. We're going to be hitting the streets again this year. We're going to be going to the Jersey Shore, hitting up the boardwalk sometime in a few weeks. Super excited to talk to, more of our Jersey people.
Yeah. We're going to have to ask him about this scenario.
Yeah. We might have to show him the video by then, but, we'll see. We'll see. Definitely let us know, guys. Would you have a problem with that? Because I definitely would. I'd feel awkward, but I don't know if there's a winning way to handle that situation. It's just out of your hands, and you just got to be like, okay, moving forward, don't be squilling like that. I know he probably never heard her make that noise in his life.
That would be worse. That would be way worse if she's never made that noise.
Oh my God.
She better start making that noise every time she see Jonathan.
I don't know, man. She's not that good of an actor, but subscribe on YouTube, subscribe on Spotify, follow on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok,
All the apps. We're everywhere. We are everywhere.